The types of taxes and how much they've been in all the years going back in time are readily available to you in the Economic Report of the President, the historical tables of the federal budget, and in various CBO and joint tax publications. But just very briefly, the federal government relies very heavily on the individual income tax. Next come the payroll taxes. Payroll taxes have risen substantially since the introduction of the Social Security system, and given the formulas that are currently employed for benefits and the current trend growth in the workforce relative to the size of the retirement population, those rates are going to have to go up considerably. Much of the increase is coming from the Medicare side. Some is coming from the payroll tax side. Time permitting later in the course, we can talk about how to reform Social Security's retirement side with minimal changes in benefits and taxes. But right now you'll have to note that payroll taxes are high and are going to be getting higher. Corporate taxes have fallen as a share of total revenue. Corporate profits have generally fallen as a share of GDP, so part of that is due to the shift of revenues reported at the corporate sector and revenues reported on pass-through entities, which have been growing in number and quantity. So some of what was the corporate tax revenue is now being seen in the individual tax revenue. There's a shift. But nonetheless, between the early post-war period and the current time, the sum total of individual income and corporate taxes has come down as a share of the total as the payroll taxes have risen. Excise taxes are a diminishing share of federal revenue. Some of them are in nominal terms, and of course inflation makes them look smaller. The estate and the gift taxes, the tariffs, and other taxes are small and relatively constant. States have also gone through a shift in their tax mix, relying more on other and revenues from the federal government to keep them in balance. They have a stronger use of general sales taxes and property taxes than the federal government does. And currently we have this year, individual income taxes accounting for $1.4 trillion, social insurance taxes about $1 trillion, the corporate tax about a little less than $400 billion, small amounts of excise and state and gift taxes. The other looks a little large. Anybody guess why it's a little bit larger now than it was a few years ago, perhaps? All those lovely repayments from all of those bailouts a few years ago that are now being repaid from Fannie and Freddie and General Motors and others are giving you a windfall. Don't count on it going forward. It's a transitory thing.